Have you ever wished that life would finally go your way? That every plan would succeed, every effort would bloom, and every day would be smooth and peaceful? What if you had the power to eliminate every obstacle, every storm, every hardship? Would that make you happier, or would it leave you hollow inside? Today on Enlightened Mind, we reflect on a powerful story of a hardworking farmer who was granted divine control over the weather. And yet, in his perfect season, he harvested nothing. Through this parable, we uncover one of the most transformative teachings of the Buddha. Suffering, far from being a curse, is the very soil in which our wisdom and strength take root. This isn't just a tale of crops. It is a mirror of our lives. Let's explore the lessons hidden beneath the husk and how Buddhism teaches us to embrace struggle, not escape it. There once was a farmer who worked tirelessly in his fields, nurturing crops with care and dedication. Yet, season after season, his harvest failed. Sometimes it was drought, sometimes floods, sometimes heat waves or storms. His labor was constant, but nature's unpredictability shattered his hopes. One day, devastated and exhausted, the farmer sat beneath a tree and cried out to the heavens, "O Lord, they call you all-knowing, but you clearly don't understand farming. If you did, you'd know that crops don't need floods, droughts, and storms. If I had control over the weather, I would show you how to grow the perfect harvest." To his amazement, a voice from the sky replied, "Very well. For one season, you shall have the power to control the weather as you see fit." Delighted, the farmer began to plant wheat, this time shielding his fields from every harsh element. No floods, no strong winds, no scorching sun, only gentle rain, perfect sunshine, and calm days. When the season ended, his fields looked lush and promising. The plants stood tall, green, and flawless. But when harvest time came, he was shocked. There was no wheat inside the stalks, only empty husks. In anguish, he cried to the sky again, "Why have you punished me?" The divine voice returned, "I did not punish you. You protected your crops from every challenge. But you forgot that it is through struggle, through facing storms, enduring heat, and pushing through wind, that plants develop strength. That inner strength is what produces the grain. Without adversity, your crops grew large, but remained hollow." This story contains a profound insight into the human condition. We long for comfort, safety, and predictability. Yet it is discomfort, danger, and surprise that help us grow. Buddhism doesn't glorify suffering, but it recognizes it as necessary. Let's explore why. The Buddha's very first teaching begins with this truth. Dukkha, or suffering, is inherent in life. Whether it is physical pain, emotional sorrow, or existential longing, suffering touches all beings. But here's the key. Suffering is not punishment. It is information. It is the invitation to wake up. The farmer's desire to eliminate all suffering led him to create a lifeless perfection. Likewise, in our own lives, when we numb every discomfort or run from hardship, we rob ourselves of the chance to develop resilience. In Buddhism, transformation arises not from escaping pain, but from facing it with mindfulness. The lotus, one of the most sacred symbols in Buddhist tradition, grows from mud. Without mud, there is no flower. So too with us. Our deepest insights often come not in moments of pleasure, but in moments of challenge. Like the grain of wheat, we need pressure, resistance, and endurance to form something valuable within. The Buddha taught that we are the heirs of our karma. This doesn't mean fate. It means that our actions, choices, and responses shape our lives. There is no shortcut. Just as the farmer could not produce real grain without allowing the crops to struggle, we cannot gain inner richness without walking the path. The Eightfold Path emphasizes right effort, not comfort, not avoidance, but effort, practice, discipline, and through these, liberation. Everything in life arises through causes and conditions. This is paticca samuppada, dependent origination. No seed grows in isolation. It needs sun, soil, water, and time, but also needs wind, strain, change. When we try to control all conditions and avoid all difficulty, we disrupt the natural balance. Just like the farmer, growth requires challenge, because challenge is one of the conditions for strength. The farmer thought he knew better than nature. In his desire for certainty, he lost the wisdom of unpredictability. The Buddha teaches us to let go, not to stop acting, but to stop clinging. We practice not to gain control over life, but to accept its flow. This is the wisdom of surrender, not giving up, but letting go of the illusion that we can engineer a perfect life. Today, many of us live in a world that strives for constant comfort, air conditioning, fast food, instant entertainment. But in removing every friction, we've also removed many opportunities for growth. Children shielded from failure grow up unprepared for setbacks. Adults who avoid hard conversations miss the depth of real relationships. A society that prizes ease may lose its ability to persevere. Just like the crops, we can appear successful on the outside, but inside, without having faced adversity, we may feel hollow. So how do we live this wisdom? How do we allow struggle to strengthen us without becoming bitter? Mindfulness meditation, vipassana, observe your pain without judgment. See how it arises. Watch it pass. Loving kindness meditation, metta, cultivate compassion for yourself and others who are struggling. Remember, everyone faces storms. Gratitude practice, reflect daily on the difficulties you've faced and how they helped you grow. Right effort, don't seek the easy path. Seek the path that awakens you. Community, sangha, surround yourself with fellow travelers who remind you that you are not alone on the path. The farmer's empty harvest is not a failure. It is a lesson, and that lesson is clear. Without challenge, there is no character. Without struggle, there is no strength. So the next time life sends a storm, pause, breathe, and remember the farmer. Remember the truth the Buddha taught, that every painful moment can be a teacher. Every obstacle, a doorway. Every hardship, a seed. Growth is not a gift from the heavens. It is the fruit of our effort, our patience, and our willingness to face the sun, the wind, and the rain. Folded hands, subscribe to the Enlightened Mind for more timeless stories, Buddhist reflections, and the wisdom to grow through what we go through.